the stories behind the headlines. Our priorities to award June and story of that. I had Monday's rescheduled meeting, the federal over Samuel, the Nigeria ongoing 11th or 100th session of International Conference ILC in Geneva, Switzerland. NLC explained the salary award was different from the minimum wage negotiation, which would come up next year. Briefing Nigerian journalist, President of NLC Joe Ajaero faulted governor for working dead in a week at the match when the social situation in the country. He said, and we quote, "We had the agreement with them. The agreement with them is not on way. They had them on wage award, and it must be understood clearly. Do you that subsidies are and purposes? It is all important people understand the quality of this, or the supposed to be for the period for minimum wage or for it to expire. There's of wage and there is wage award and there is minimum wage. This is a kind of about 50%. It's revolution 15. And that we look at our questions in the screen 70s. We had Uzodimma award, not whatever we want to with achieved, but not minimum wage. And then it goes to thousands of not being able to pay minimum wage, and that's why they're not even minimum wage award. Actually, I have nice. Even organized labor, if you're waiting in front of the government, you would want you don't want if the this with federal government. It sounds new to me. It makes some sense. Sound new to me. Right? Used to do that good one. And if he says how much is enough, and labor be made have somehow like policies. It's tricks to Medicaid. Do you think this priority is priority enough? Student can one flexible and fight students all your space. But I like to stick with they must go with their trust one. Student loan no longer versus bill federal funds. The measure to build uniformness and Andrew David at the Joseph preferring on Tinubu while clarifying the student loan bill by parliament from the reduction student fee not arising from the acts. No, but I would like it to can look for the bill for the party said. Responding to the question about said universities already have autonomy. The autonomy they get to have is financial autonomy. It is wanted that they can enter the question. The government is working towards that. Underline that, please. The Permanent Secretary of the Federal was working out modalities to begin disbursement to September. The President directed the first recipients must be available for 2023-2024 academic session. Then Inter-Minister would be on Tuesday to find you in the process of to get the loan 6. Explain that the acted the booking for persons to get a loan to me say we don't want to miss something only public school students will benefit from. For now, schools are paying to so you have to some of the price like 20 years and baby. What being seen is the bill that was presented when meditated and before it looks at it and the relevant idea of this and addition. Just wait to see the act will get back when it's transmitted to the Minister of this to put into it as he said and the thing that they have to we should make indigent loan. You can't be a loan if it to obtain a loan. You have to get validation if you wish universities free information and the federal government not a loan that will not make sure you get in schools and Bradley added. Only thing that's key the party said the government wanted to learn the part adding we want the current acting from the of the party and defaulters and people that are paid and the parties like government money come and go free money it is not going to be with. The process will be politicized and that cannot 8% adding that season the techniques were being redirected to focus on the way and also I don't want to say that someone who takes the loan who then takes the loan will pay after his service 2 years after his service, yeah, that's what it's called NYC. And what about the job? When he's gainfully employed. So with now this new do you with these reflections like do you think there's a good move by the president and the chief staff who is in here? Talked about you think this is a good now do you think so? Before into meaning so it also extends to the private sector wide tuition fee side. But hey, very soon, possibly, universities get the financial autonomy and then they begin a conversation whether to increase tuition fee or not. What do you think about this? I'm going for a quick break. Why do you come back? And it's a very quick break. Why do you come back? I will open for lines of development. Stay tuned. just join us. Welcome to our looking at lines on hard fact with Kalada. When to subsidy removal, a priority salary award on June 19, and that's coming from the NLP, and then I told the story. And finished with student loan, we can no longer food universities bill. Let's get to reject motion seeking to ban pass drum. You can find the story on the Nation newspaper. The House of Representatives on Thursday rejected the motion seeking to declare Exhumed known as Japa as in Uzodimma, the by the APC Badway. It was based in the United Kingdom before becoming lawmaker in Nigeria during plenary. Presented the motion access status from the Nigerian economic seat showed a growing number of young Nigerians were relocated. The recent reports by African Polling Institute indicated that 9% people operated given hands. There was a 4% increase in the number of young Nigerians in the nation compared to the number in 2019. United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs reported. He said the UN DESA stated that international immigration from Nigeria in 2020 totaled 2.7 million, which was a substantial increase from 990,000 in 2010. He said the growing statistics of young Nigerians in Nigeria and securing permanent residence in the UK, the US, and Canada portend a great gain for the economic, electoral, and social aspects. When the Speaker of the House, Abbas, subjected the motion to a vote, it was unanimously rejected. And the question I have for you is, should it be declared as a national emergency? I mean, think about it. We're losing our bright minds. I'm not saying the ones that are here, you and I, are not bright enough, but we need as many bright minds as possible. We also talk about the fact that we don't have enough doctors going around. We don't have enough policemen going around. We don't have enough teachers going around. We don't have a lot of these professionals going around. If you go to the interior villages, or should I say rural villages, or the rural areas, pardon my misuse of the word there, if you go to the rural areas, you would realize that the primary health is not working in certain places. The primary schools and secondary schools are not working in certain places. And so we need as much teachers as we can get. We need as much doctors and nurses we can get. But these people are leaving and they're going abroad. We need a lot of these tech boys in the era of technology. The tech boys are going abroad. So do you think we should declare an emergency, a national emergency on immigration, and see how maybe we can begin to incentive in place to keep the young people, back in Nigeria? But then that's one headline I think is big enough for today's conversation. But the next one, Imo was in the cemetery when I assumed office. I exhumed it, Uzodimma. Imo cemetery, I exhumed it, Uzodimma. With that, you can find that story on I'm quickly going to read it. This one says Governor of the state Uzodimma when said the subnational was in a state of disrepair when he assumed office on January 15, 2020. Given the situation in Imo State before 2020 when I became the governor, and the situation of Imo State today, 2023, 3 years after, a lot of things are there for people to know. There is a huge difference, Uzodimma said during a kind of politics today. I came to Imo State, I met a moribund state, a state that was in distress, a state I can even say that was in the cemetery. I exhumed the body. Can you imagine a state where I came as the governor and everybody as hand of a note? There was no compass for me to navigate the aircraft. According to the governor, after harvesting information from official and unofficial quarters, he was able to establish a non-role. Uzodimma added that he re-established service payroll and began to rehabilitate all the infrastructure which he described as dilapidated. Now, all the infrastructure, he said the infrastructure deficit was so huge, all the roads were not motorable. Hospital when I started, he said. Now, you remember, what's his name now? Rochas at some point was governor in that state, and Rochas was hailed for some infrastructural work he did in his time, and then Iyedoa was next, and then of course the courts spoke on the matter, and we saw the mess of Uzodimma. So for our brothers, that we need to make a decision to state today. Do you agree with Uzodimma? Do you think Uzodimma is a savior and has come to save Imo State? As a matter of fact, he raised Imo from dead. Oh my God. Moving on to the next one. Tinubu mid-neck says no excuse for failure. I'm going to write down because we have spent so much time on it. That story has to do with the institution, or would I say the inauguration of the Executive Council, or the Economic Council, I beg your pardon. And it's made up of these and for the one chairing that commission, so to say, or committee. But then he's saying to the governors that there is no excuse, that they campaigned to be governors and you campaign to be president, and it's time for them to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people. Do you see them coming up with noble ideas? Do you see them bringing about the change? Do you believe that they can do what is needed to move the Nigerian economy to the promised land? That's what I have. That's what I have for you. And that being said, I'm going to open the phone line 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Messages should go to the WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. And remember, first one, subsidy removal. Our priority is to get salary award on team, and it's coming from NLC. Student loan, we can no longer fool universities bill federal government. Reps reject motion seeking to ban Japa syndrome. And Tinubu says no excuse for failure. I'm going to start taking calls, but let's see this one. It's definitely a democracy and no democratic country of Nigeria and regime. And regime, not looking at it from that angle. I'm looking at it from the angle of incentive inputs in case to ensure that we sway people who intend to leave to stay and help develop the country. I've got Braid calling from one. Braid, greetings to you.
Yeah, greetings to Mr. Batubo.
Welcome, then.
Yes, you asked one fundamental question. That the people that is being elected, are they really going to bring the dividend of democracy to the people? Canada, as I see, since 1999, when democracy come on board, none of the government has put it to it. What they brought the people is stability, the austerity, they bring in subsidy. Any vessel, bringing her and people that is female, suffering, pain been inflicted to Nigerians since 1999. You see where one man stock money in his house, even in the warehouse, in the lorry, and people are looking for just people who has money in that country, lot money.
All right. Just in summary, you do not see the economic has failed in Arab. Oh. Is it not too early? Is it too early for you to strong words like that? I mean, they are yet to start working.
Canada, this is let me say about 3 weeks after inauguration by this administration. People should have begun to see dividends of democracy. It's not when you stay 10 years or 8 years. As soon as you come in, Nigeria has wealth. Bring out the wealth. Let people begin to see the democracy.
Do you think the wealth can be brought out in 3 weeks? In 3 weeks? I mean, think about that.
Canada, keep somebody like you.
I know. I'm not going to go there.
People can see the dividends of democracy within a week.
All right then.
Farmers should begin to see. Workers should begin to see the feelings of the democracy. Market people should begin to feel it. Even if they've not touched it, they should begin to feel it.
All right then. All right. Thank you very much, Braid. I've got Emmanuel from Aba. Emmanuel, greetings to you. Welcome on the show. Let's talk.
Aba brothers.
All right, welcome.
Yeah, this students' loan of 18. It's not more like someone mortgaging their future.
How do you mean?
Like, after the whole process and everything, then when you graduate, you now have to pay them back when you are gainfully employed. For example, you don't get employed as soon as possible, uncle.
And that's why they said they are looking at ensuring that the tertiary institutions, produce job creators. And I've said it before, schools are not supposed to just bring out graduates who are going to be waiting for government to provide jobs for them.
Are they? Oh, okay. When you're out of school, you provide your own job.
But that's how it's supposed to be, Manuel. That's how it's supposed to be.
No, now they're supposed to provide jobs for you. when you're out,
when you look at the countries we like to copy from, sector that runs, a large chunk of the economy.
Honestly, this is very funny. I won't lie.
All right then. Thank you for your time. Let's see now. This message says, for me, it is high time federal government declare state of emergency on this syndrome called Japa and create jobs for teeming youths or make the environment more conducive for citizens. From Abdul Ganiyu. Abdul Ganiyu, thank you very much. And this one says the governor of Imo State should not embarrass and look down on the previous administration in Imo State because government is a continuum and he should not claim exhuming the state because the state was never buried at any time as the present government house you are praised from was built by Rogers and other infrastructural development in the state. Governor Hope Uzodimma should do his part and not condemn his predecessors. Wike Odinaka. Daniel is calling from Imogate. Daniel, greetings to you.
Good afternoon, Kalada.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I am on Hope Uzodimma.
Okay.
I think he just wants to criticize his predecessors because I know very well that Rochas Okorocha built many roads across Imo State. All the criticism that time, even when he was doing all those things, was that of statue of some personalities that he did. So apart from that, I think Rochas Okorocha tried his best. Did you know one thing they must commend that governor, the then governor of Imo State, is that insecurity vote that all the governors are yearning for are scrapping. That is what they get first. Rochas Okorocha gave Imo State people his security vote, used it to work for Igbo life. That man needs to be commended.
How did he give them? I'm wondering.
Yes, he sacrificed the security vote. You have the addition, Google it, you will see it. His security vote, he said he's going to use it to work for Imo life.
He said, that's what I'm saying, he said. But how did he use it? That's what I want to find out.
All I know, if it is easy, let other governors do it.
I mean, it's easy to say. That's what I'm saying. It's easy
to say. He did it as well.
Okay. All right, then. All right. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you very much.
I've got Chooks, or is it Chucks from Port Harcourt? Chucks, welcome.
Yeah. Mr. Kalada, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I want to speak about the student loan. And
Okay.
I also talk briefly about both Uzodimma's claim on resurrecting Imo from the same message. From the student loan perspective, you can see that the government is gradually moving into university financial autonomy.
Okay.
Where the university will be generating their own fund, maybe to pay salaries and maybe infrastructure. Maybe they will not depend on government. You will not have this issue of massive strike or something like that. Then when you look at it from that perspective, there is something that will certainly happen. It means education will become very expensive, just as it is overseas.
Okay.
And now as you see, they are about introducing tuition fee. This was not in the federal universities before now. Now, if somebody is giving 200,000 for education for as a loan, maybe for for the year, and all that, at the end of it, you'll find out that these universities may be charging as high as 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 per session. And what would 200,000 do? Okay, and at the end of the day, you say this person is going to pay upon graduation. Now, if the economy is not made sustainable and attractive for private sectors and other people to come and invest, which will lead to job creation, how can this person pay after 2 years? We've seen people graduate from university and then they spend like 5, 6, even 10 years without a job. So I think this frustrated. At the end of the day, they end up maybe doing keke, boat, and other sustaining and self-sustaining businesses. So for me, I think.
But you see, from what the permanent secretary did say, he said yes, 2 years after NYSC, but also when you are employed. So there is that caveat there when you are employed. So I do not know how they intend to do it, but eventually when the act is gazetted, we'll see.
I hear when
we'll
you
see
read
all of
it,
that. Okay.
after NYC chose after when you're employed. What if you're not employed? What if you don't have a job? What if the economy is like this? What if the economy remains like this? That scares investors. You understand? That cannot make it attractive for people to come and invest, and at the end of the day, they have job creation. What if it is like this? How will the person get a job? And I also learned that even after that 2 years, if you don't pay, I think there is something like being prosecuted or so.
Yeah. 500,000 naira fine and then jail term.
I mean, you can see. So, for me, I think government should leave the things the way it is now. They should not introduce tuition fee. They should just allow people to manage and to start with. Because if you look at the conditions, they are very, very difficult conditions.
All right, then.
One, the family will not have an annual income of 500,000. They don't take.
Like the permanent secretary said, let's wait when the act is gazetted, when it's released by the federal government, then we can make all of these deliberations. No. I've got another caller. I'm sorry, Chucks. I've got to let you go. I've got Richard, and he's calling from Elipanwo. Richard, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kalada.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I want to talk about the student loan. And I just have fears, just like somebody was just mentioned about this loan. That is gradually looking like Nigerian thing.
Why do you say so? Why do you say so?
I'm not seeing it as something that is workable. Because according to the information we were given, one of the conditions is that the person collecting the loan or the family must be must earn below 500,000 naira a year. And if that become part of the condition, it means that the loan is not possible for anybody, and it is not also encouraging people to go to school.
How do you mean it's not possible? People who earn less than 500,000 a year are people believed to not.
I didn't hear you, Mr. Kalada.
What do you mean by it's not for everybody? And there's the noise coming from your background. Maybe you can shift a little bit.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. But if I need to continue, I mean, 500,000 a year is not enough, even to take care of one person in school. Maybe a family of 5 or 3 or something like that. If you are earning 500 or less than 500,000 and below in a year, you can't even feed them, not to talk of sending anybody to school. So if government want to encourage education in Nigeria, I think they should come up with a viable solution to ensure that the Nigerian citizens are educated, which at the end of the day will turn into manpower in terms of production in this country. So they should forget about this, student loan and come up with something that will be reasonable, something that is good, something that is visible, that will enable students in Nigeria or enable people, even other the people that are not earning anything, to enable them to go to school.
All right then. All right. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Richard. Let's get some more messages read. This one says, who is providing jobs for the politicians? Good question there. This one says, this government is gearing for a showdown with the masses by proposing they can no longer fund the education. What can they fund if they can't fund education? What is the subsidy money removed from USSD for? Soon they will tell us they can't fund health programs. What sacrifices are the politicians making themselves? APC has messed up the economy already in the last 8 years. I'm not surprised all these are coming up. Bernard with that one. All right, thank you very much. This one says, I have no problem with the Japa syndrome or people who want to Japa. I will be very disappointed in them if they should beckon on Nigeria for help if problem arises in the countries they run to. Nigerians in Southeast and South should not continue dwelling on parts that has not helped us since 2015. We often want the federal government to do everything for us, thereby shielding our state governments and paving way for them to loot resources meant to develop the state, for God's sake. As funds are shared monthly between the federal, state, and LGA, so also functions and responsibilities are shared. All right, Emi Fiaga with that one. This one says, good day, Kalada. I hope Uzodimma saying he exhumed Imo State. This is very funny of him. This is a man who met a working system in place. Does he remember that Wike met nothing on ground when he came on board, not even a car to use on the inaugural day, but River State is a state to be envied today. Uzodimma said other things, or should say other things, and not to say he exhumed the state, Ima Otaka in Choba. I've got Shady from Iriebe. All right. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, Canada, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Please, respect to this students' loan stuff. I don't know how and I don't know when Nigerians will learn lessons. Or does it mean that everybody in Nigeria is not educated? I don't know how our leaders are thinking they are fooling everybody. How on earth will leaders think about bringing loan to students and at the same time thinking about removing just the little money, the little tuition fee that people are just managing to train their children? This is complete robbing Paul.
Now, Shady, can you hear me?
I'm with you.
Listening to the permanent secretary, Ministry of Education, speak yesterday, he said the government has not come out to say they are removing tuition fees, right? Okay. He says, or he said at the time, when it is time for financial autonomy for universities, and that time is coming because the conversation is up and running. When it eventually comes, if it does come, then you can talk about tuition removal. But for now, the act is also for people in private schools, people who are paying humongous amounts.
They are just using that to hook the poor Nigerians. Once this program starts, are you hearing me? Once the program starts, nothing will stop the federal government from raising tuition fee to a height that even poor parents cannot even train their children anymore. They should leave us alone. They should forget about this and just give us little infrastructure. Nigerians are ready to help themselves. I don't know why they are doing all this. That was exactly what happened during Shopee. They got it and they were allocating it to themselves. When will we learn? Thank you, my brother.
All right, then. Thank you very much for calling in. I've got Ida from Nkoro. Ida, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
First of all, I want to thank the federal government for this loan and Parliament Tinubu. Yes, who it. Now, people are arguing it will not come, it will not going to come. Who will see the loan? Why they civil servant, their parents must be a civil servant, so you use the money very well. Other women give you, go and do other things. Can't do business to train yourself in school. That's what they said. That's what they are giving the loan. So I want to commend federal government and the state government too should also do same. Uploading seem to do so. I know you do the same thing. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much for your time there. Okay, let's read some more messages. Let's see a couple here. There is nothing wrong with loan conditions. Some persons calling just want reasons to justify the usual Nigerian loan default syndrome. Eric Chooks, thank you very much. It says government wants the students whose parents earn less than 500,000, but you want to fine them 500,000 if they're unable to repay loans. Nigerian government. No hope, Sonny Uzodimma. But I know there are so many things flying, you can see them in the pages of various newspapers. But I want to tell everybody to calm down, just like the permanent secretary did say yesterday. We don't know the exact details. What we are getting to see on the various pages of newspapers were from the bill stage when Gbajabiamila, his time at the House, brought up that bill. So that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it in its bill form. When it's gazetted, we get to see the actual acts, and we would know if some of these conditions are there. And if they are there, would continue the conversation at the time. But for now, hospital taking treatment for stomach ache, but Uzodimma came. Uzodimma brought the state back from the hospital and started administering self-medication to a sick state. Today, the state is in coma. Imolites are still mourning the miscarriage that happened to the motherland. All right, then. Thank you very much. This one says, my country is a paradox. They know every bit of what they are doing. The summary is they just want to increase school fees and further discourage the poor from being educated so as not to rub shoulders with the children or with their children, as they have always done and wished. Recall a rep member once proposed that varsity fees should be raised between 350 to 500,000. There's a commercial break coming up. When I come back, I read some more messages. Stay tuned.